Hi guys, my name is Ellie and I'm a content creator here at Tract. Thanks so much for joining this live stream with me today. So just a little bit about me. I'm a college freshman at Northeastern University, which is in Boston, Massachusetts. And I recently graduated high school and my favorite subject in school was philosophy. And that kind of ties in to why I decided to make this learning path for you guys. So basically in high school, I took a class my senior year called Humanities, which basically means that it taught me to answer questions kind of like, who are we as humans? Why are we here? And what does it mean to be human? And so one of the topics we covered in class was the idea of time and kind of the different scientific theories of time travel. So before this class, I never really thought that I would be learning in school about something that I thought was completely make-believe, and that's why I found it so interesting. So thinking critically about the world around you is really, really important in order to become a thoughtful person in the future, and you can even end up working as in a career in philosophy if you're interested in this. It's also really, really fun, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So if you haven't already taken the learning path, I'm just going to go over a few things that you'll learn. So basically, you will be learning how to scientifically time travel, kind of the different time travel theories used in books and movies, and also the different time travel paradoxes. And I will be explaining kind of what these mean in later in the live stream, so don't really worry if you don't really know what I'm talking about yet. Okay, so next, I'm going to talk a little bit about XP points. So you'll get 50 XP points just for attending this live stream. And every time you question, you're going to get 10 extra ones. So make sure to ask the questions. And then also, we're going to be doing a Kahoot. So make sure to have a phone or a laptop handy for the quiz coming up. And so before we do that, I'm just going to introduce an open-ended question that you guys will be answering, and you don't have to answer it right now, and it's totally fine if you don't really understand what it means yet. I wouldn't really expect you to, and you'll probably understand it more when I go through the Kahoot. But basically, the question is, based on what you learned from the path or this live stream, do you think free will truly exists in instances of time travel? So no worries if you don't really know what that means yet. You really don't have to answer right now. If you want to answer right now, that's totally fine, but you can definitely hold off until we're done with the Kahoot. And so also a little bit of preface for the Kahoot. Don't worry if you haven't done my path yet and don't know really any answers to the question. This is definitely very hard material, and I took this my senior year of high school. So even if you guys can understand a little bit about what I'm talking about, that's super, super impressive. And yeah, it's going to be really fun. So yeah, if we could just get into the Kahoot. Okay. And if you haven't already joined, the game pin is 831094. And I can also repeat that, 831094. Awesome. Thanks, Stan, Devin, Nick. Awesome. VM Jackson, thanks for joining. Okay, so time travel, science fiction or scientific fact? Okay, so first question is, what did Einstein mean when he said that time is relative? So did he mean that the concept of time is familiar and like family to humans? Did he mean the rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference? Or did he mean that time is not real? So let me know what you guys think. Okay, looks like most of you guys got correct. So yeah, this means that the rate at which time passes depends on your frame of reference. And so it's totally fine if you didn't know what this means. And so basically what this is talking about is time dilation. And I'm going to explain this in an example. So basically, let's say me and Jackson. I'm going to use one of you guys in my example. Let's say me and Jackson wear identical watches and we set our watches at the exact same time. So let's say that I am an astronaut and then I blast off into space and I circle the Earth a few times in my spaceship. And then when I come back down, we both compare our watches. I will see that there's less time that will have passed for me. My watch will be slower. So it will be slower by a very, very, very small amount, but it will still be slower. So basically, Einstein's theory with this is that the faster you move through space, the slower you move through time. Okay, next question. Great job, Devin. Great job, Nick, Jackson, Stan. Great job, guys. Okay, true or false? According to the time dilation theory, time moves slower for a moving clock than for the one that stays still. So this is kind of testing your knowledge on what I just kind of explained. And it's okay if you guys still are a little bit fuzzy on the concept. Just try your best. So true or false? What do you guys think? Okay, true. So yeah, okay, next question. It looks like a lot of you guys got that correct. Great job. Okay, awesome job, Devin. Great job, Nick. Okay, so what is a wormhole? What do you guys think that is? So do you guys think it's a theoretical shortcut passage in the universe through space and time? Or do you think it's a space bug that helps humans travel through time? What do you guys think? Okay, you guys all got that one. Great job. So basically, the main point about this is that a wormhole has actually never really been proven. It's just a theory about how you could actually scientifically time travel. And so basically, the idea here is that you would enter at one end of the wormhole at a time in history and then exit the other end at a different time in history. Okay, next question. Great job, Devin. And great job, VM. Rising up, Nick. Great job, Jackson. Okay, so what is the fixed timeline theory of time travel? Now, this might be super confusing if you haven't taken my path, but just try to guess, try to do your best guess. And there's a little bit of a hint with the Harry Potter, if you've seen Harry Potter. So do you guys think it's time travel where you cannot change the past or future? Do you guys think it's time travel to change the past, therefore changing the future? Or do you guys think it's time travel to change the past and then creating a second universe with the changed future? Let me know what you guys think. Okay, awesome. So it means that it's time travel where you cannot change the past or future. It looks like 2 of you guys got that correct, so awesome job for you guys. And don't worry if you didn't get it correct. It's super confusing. So I'm going to explain it a little bit more. So basically, if you've seen Harry Potter, I love Harry Potter, and you've seen the 3rd movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban. So if you remember, Harry uses the time turner to save himself and Sirius Black. And so he's able to do this because there's already a fixed past and future when he saves himself. So this way he knows exactly what he needs to do in the past because it's already happened in the future. So this means that he can go back in time and he can't change the past, and therefore he cannot change the future. Okay, hope that makes sense. Next question. Great job, Devin. Okay, what is the dynamic timeline theory of time travel? Okay, if you've seen Back to the Future, this will give you a little bit of a hint. So, do you guys think it's time travel to change the past, creating a second universe with a changed future? Do you guys think it's time travel where you cannot change the past or future? Or do you guys think it's time travel to change the past, therefore changing the future? Okay, it looks like a lot of you guys got this one correct. I'm very impressed. So yeah, basically this means that it's time travel to change the past, therefore you can change the future. So if you have seen Back to the Future, you can remember that when the main character, Marty, he is able to go back to the past, he's able to time travel to the past and can change the past. Therefore, and he does this by making his father stand up to his high school bully. And then the main character is able to then go back to the future, hence the name. And then since he changed the past, now there's a new future where his father is more successful in life in the future. And this is what we like to call the butterfly effect, where it means that if you change something in the past, then this is going to kind of create a ripple effect and therefore change the future. Okay, next question. Okay, great job, Devin. Great job, Nick. Great job, Stan. You're rising in the ranks. Okay. Okay, what is the multiverse theory of time travel? So do you guys think it's time travel to change the past, therefore changing the future? Time travel where you cannot change the past or future? Or do you guys think it's time travel to change the past, creating a second universe with a changed future? Okay, it looks like almost all of you guys got this one correct, so awesome job. So yeah, this means that you are able to change the past and then create a second universe with a changed future. Now, this concept is kind of confusing, but basically, this is the theory that our universe right now is just one of like millions of parallel universes. And let's say if you go back in time and change something in the past, this means that you then create a new timeline in the future and branch out from your original timeline. And so this is kind of confusing, but if you've seen Avengers Endgame, they actually use the multiverse theory of time travel in this movie. And you can see it where there's only one single future where the Avengers can defeat Thanos. And they're basically trying to do everything and have all the events line up so they have that single universe where the future is them defeating Thanos. Okay, next question. Okay. Great job, Stan, with your streak. True or false? Okay, a paradox is a statement that seems to say opposite things and yet is perhaps true. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term, but it's going to play into what I'm going to talk about in the next couple questions. Okay. All right, you guys all got this one correct. Awesome job. So now we can just move on to the next question. Seems like you guys got it. All right. So what does a closed causal loop create? So do you guys think this means that it creates a cause and effect time loop, which is consistent with timeline history, or do you guys think it means that it creates timeline inconsistencies by changing the past? And I know this is kind of confusing, but try your best to answer. I'm going to explain it afterwards. Okay, it looks like a lot of you guys got this correct, so awesome job. So yeah, basically a closed causal loop, there's two examples of this, two paradoxes. So the first one is called the predestination paradox. And think back to what I kind of talked to about the Harry Potter example, where you cannot change your fate, meaning that there's a fixed past and future, so you can't change either one. And then there's a second paradox called the bootstrap paradox, and I'm going to explain this in an example. So let's say the creator of Star Wars, George Lucas, decided to time travel back in time and just give a younger version of himself the Star Wars scripts. And then that younger version of himself just takes those scripts and obviously makes the movies and is super successful. But the question here is, where did the scripts actually originate? And the paradox here is that they always just existed. And so this is why we kind of say that there's a cause and effect time loop, which is just consistent with the timeline history, but things just kind of always exist and you don't really know their origin. Okay, next question. All right, great job, Stan. And great job, Devin. You guys are pretty close. So what does a consistency paradox create? Do you guys think this means timeline inconsistencies by changing the past, or do you guys think this is, again, the cause and effect time loop, which is consistent with timeline history, only slightly different? Okay, great job. Looks like a lot of you guys got it. So I'm going to explain this with something called the grandfather paradox. And this is a little bit weird, but they explain this by saying, let's say you were able to time travel and for some reason you wanted to go back in time and kill your grandfather when he was a young boy. I don't know why you would do this, but just for the sake of the example. So basically you would time travel back in time. Let's say you kill your grandfather, then that would mean obviously that your grandfather would never meet your grandma, and then obviously they wouldn't have your mom or dad, and then obviously you would never have been born. But if you were never born, that means that you were never able to go back in time and kill your grandfather. So do you guys see how this kind of creates an inconsistent timeline by changing the past? So therefore a paradox. Okay, next question. All right. Great job, Jayon. Looks like you're rising in the ranks. Okay, almost done. What does free will mean? Do you guys think it means the belief that some human actions are freely chosen, or do you guys think it means that all events are caused by past events, meaning that you cannot change fate? What do you guys think? Okay, it looks like a lot of you guys got it. So this is the belief that some human actions are freely chosen. And so I'm going to explain this in an example. Basically, it's the belief that I have the choice with every action I make. I could make the choice to drink a glass of water, or I could make the choice to drink a glass of juice. But it's my decision, and I have the free will to do it. And I'll get a little bit into this in the next question as well. So next question. Okay, great job, Stan. Looks like you're on a streak. Okay, what does determinism mean? All right, do you guys think it means that all events are caused by past events, meaning that you cannot change fate? Or do you guys think it means that human actions are freely chosen? Okay, it looks like a lot of you guys got it. So this kind of goes with the idea of free will. And so this is basically saying that everything in your life, you don't have free will because you were always gonna drink the water over the juice. And that means that you don't have free will in what you do. So when talking about a lot of time travel theories, there's this common theme that you can't change your fate. So this kind of goes into the question, if everything in your life is predetermined, many ask if we truly have a say or any freedom in what we do. And this also kind of brings up the question is, if we don't have any freedom in what we do we have to take moral responsibility for our actions, even if we do something bad, let's say? So tell me what you guys think. This goes with our original question that I asked you guys before the Kahoot. Tell me if you guys think that you think we have freedom in our daily lives, or do you think that everything happens for a reason and our lives are kind of planned out no matter what, and that would mean you can't change your past and therefore you can't change your future. So this is kind of a very deep question. I'd be very impressed, and I'm very excited to hear what you guys think. So while you guys are answering that question, we're going to be also doing an Ask Me Anything. So if you guys also want to just ask me some questions, I would love to do that as well. So I'll give you guys a little bit of time to first answer the first question. Oh, okay, let's see the winners. Devin, amazing job. Okay, Devin, Stan, and Nick. I'm so impressed. I don't think at you guys' age I would be able to answer these questions, so I'm very impressed. I had difficult learning these concepts, so amazing job. And to everyone else, I think everyone did an amazing job too. I'm still very impressed with you guys as well. It looks like most of you guys answered the questions correctly most of the time. So I'll just give you guys some time to answer the question. And while you guys are working, I can also talk a little bit about some things about myself, so that you guys can maybe ask me about that when you guys are done answering the first question. So some things about me are, I was an editor for my school magazine. It was an arts and culture magazine. So I did that for around 3 years in high school. So if you guys are interested in journalism, that was something that I really loved in high school, and I would really encourage you guys to get into that if you're interested. I also played lacrosse all 4 years of high school, so that was really fun. I've also played soccer. I started soccer when I was in kindergarten, I believe, and played up until high school. And so I'm sure maybe some of you guys play soccer or sports. So you guys can ask me questions about that if you want. I also played tennis my freshman and sophomore year, so that was also super fun. I love art. I love to draw, and I also love to paint. I also play the piano, and I do a little bit of singing as well. Some of my hobbies are I love to do some graphic design that kind of goes with what I'm studying at college right now. I'm studying media arts and kind of maybe going into journalism. And I love to make music playlists. Okay, so Claire, thank you, Claire, asks, what's my favorite subject? So my favorite subject is philosophy. So obviously I made this learning path because I really loved the class in high school where we talked about these things. And I really, really encourage you guys to take a class at some point about this. It's super fun. You get to watch a ton of fun videos, and I got to watch like a movie in class. It was super, super fun. So yeah, I definitely, and we got to talk about time travel, which was super fun. Okay, A. Chung asks, what is your major in college? Okay, my major in college, it's called Media and Screen Studies and Communications. So basically, I'm studying all the types of ways we communicate and how we're getting information from the internet, from the news, just from social media. So that's really fun. Okay, YT Brick Studios. What was your position in lacrosse? I played forward, so it was really fun. I got to score some goals. And I also played forward in soccer. So yeah, I like to be scoring the goals. What team did I play for? So soccer, I played club soccer, and I played for Palo Alto. And then for lacrosse, I just played my Palo Alto High School. I played varsity for them. Okay, Mark Prensky, what determines our future besides our genes? That's a really great question. I mean, I think this depends on who you're asking, but I think a lot of things can determine your future besides your genes. I think kind of your background of how you grow up, the values that you're taught by your parents, maybe the education that you're getting, your own experiences, how you experience life. And this kind of ties into what I'm learning in school right now, and how different people's cultures and backgrounds impact how we communicate and therefore how you can succeed later in life. So that's a really great question. Thank you, Mark. Okay, Jackson asks, what is my favorite Einstein theory? Okay, great question, Jackson. My favorite Einstein theory is probably the first one, which is the one where the fixed timeline theory. I kind of like, because I like how Harry Potter kind of showed this, where you cannot change the past or future, and you kind of, if you were to do that, you would know exactly what to do because you've already done it. And I think it's just kind of, that's kind of like, it's fun to think about, and it kind of makes your brain hurt a little bit, but I think it's fun. Okay. YT Brick Studio said, do you like Albert Einstein, okay, or Stephen Hawking's? Well, I know more about Albert Einstein. Stephen Hawking's is also amazing, but I would say that I learned a lot about Albert Einstein through this class, so I'm a big fan of his. Okay, thank you for that question. That's a good question. I do want to learn more about Stephen Hawking's. Okay, it looks like we're a little over time, so I'm going to talk about some of my other learning paths that you guys can definitely do. I would love if you would do them. So some of my other paths are the hidden meanings behind the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. And I kind of talk about the hidden meanings behind spells and character names, and that's really fun. I did one on will robots really someday take over the world? And that was about artificial intelligence and different machines. And that one's really, really fun and definitely challenging. But if you're up for the challenge, that's awesome. I recently did one about the 12 gods and goddesses of Mount Olympus. So if you're interested in Greek mythology, I think you'd really enjoy that one. And then I also did one on how to start your own business as a kid and become an entrepreneur. And I've also done tons of other ones, but those are just a few. So you guys should definitely check that out. And then quickly before we wrap up, the next live event is called The Moon Landings, and it's with another content creator at Track named Jeffrey Chen, and that is tomorrow from 4 to 4:30. So you guys should definitely tune into that if you guys like the one today. And I think that's it. If you guys did have any answers for the question that I asked, or if not, that's totally fine. If you don't really have anything to say about it, that's fine. But it looks like we're a little over time. But if you want to send something in really quick, I could feature that response. It looks like, okay. Devin said that, yes, he thinks that we do have free will to do what we like. So Devin, thank you for your response. That is very interesting. That's something that I definitely had to argue in my humanities class in high school. And I do agree with you that I think we do have free will, even in instances in time travel, and that we do, at the end of the day, have to take responsibility for our actions, even if maybe we cannot change our fate. So thank you guys for tuning in. This was super fun. I'm super impressed with all of you, and have an awesome day.